I am going to get to speak to a very special athlete today, a epee fencer who's currently ranked fifth in the world. Is Bas Verwijlen from Holland. And hello, Bas, welcome. Could you just introduce yourself briefly?
Well, thank you, and a good morning to you too. Yeah, my name is Bas Verwijlen. I'm an epee fencer from the Netherlands or Holland. It's about the same. And at the moment, I've been fencing for 31 years, and I've been coached by my father since a long time. At the moment, I have two fencing coaches. It's my father, and it's Alexandre Buysens from France. He's my coach for my French team. I also fence national championships by team for a French team from the north. And currently, of course, I'm also very wondering when the season will start again, because yeah, to be honest, it was a big slap in the face that the Olympics were postponed. You know, we were really counting down as a team, as a family towards Tokyo. Things are still looking good for me, but you know, individually, I cannot change anything anymore. Even if I win this last competition, or even if I don't participate in the last competition, individually, I cannot change anything anymore. I have to look at the team results for Russia and Hungary. If they qualify, or one of them qualifies, then I will be eating sushi and drinking sake in Tokyo. So.
Yeah. Well, obviously, good luck with that from us as well.
Thanks.
Something you mentioned there was that your coach, one of your coaches is your father, and obviously you've been fencing 31 years, which I think means you must have started when you were 5. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So, yeah. So there's certainly some legacy in men's epee of fencers going to high level coached by family members, and also now in foil. One of the things that people always say is that maybe that's not a good thing. It puts different sort of pressure on the relationship. And then other people say, oh no, this is the key to my success. If I wasn't coached by my father, then for sure I wouldn't be as good. So you will have a very specific view on what that experience was and how it differs from having a coach that isn't your father. You're one of the few athletes who can actually compare the two. So I'd be interested to know whether or not you think it's the pluses and the minuses of being coached by a family member.
Yeah. Now, so actually for 23 years, you know, and in all the interviews I did everywhere, you know, they always ask me, how is it to be coached by your father? And to be honest, for 23 years, I could only say, I don't know, because I'm only coached by my father. Of course, I went to training camps and I talked a lot with other coaches and trainers, you know, how it is in the fencing world. We're all friends and very open to each other, but I was really only coached by my father. But then something happened in the federation, and I was a bit forced to work with another coach. And so at this moment, I can really compare how it is to work with my father. And I think besides that, my father, I think, yeah, if you look at the results, is one of the best fencing coaches, trainers we ever had in the Netherlands over the past, I don't know, maybe 200 years. He is also a big mastermind, you know. He's a very big, can you say tacticus? He's tactically very good.
Strategist, tactician, yeah.
Yeah, a very good strategist. And as a father, as it is my father and I am his son, you know, when I was fencing on the strip, I look over my shoulder and only a head nod or a little hand gesture was enough for me to know what he meant to change the tactic or to change the speed or whatever. And what is also very special in 1992, when I was a little kid, we went to the Olympics in Barcelona. I went on holiday with my parents and with my little sister, and I went there. And I went into the fencing venue, and I was brave enough to ask my hero, my childhood hero, Pavel Kolobkov, for an autograph. And while he was in the middle of his Olympic competition, he just had the time to give me an autograph. You know, at the current Olympics, you cannot even get close to the athletes, but in Barcelona, it was still possible. So I got his autograph, and I was walking hand in hand with my father, going out of this fencing venue. And I looked at my father. I said, whatever happens, I want to make it to the Olympics, you know, not knowing how hard it is, or coming from a small fencing country with almost no support from the fencing federation. But I told my father I want to go to the Olympics. And I think my father saw something in my eyes, and he thought, we're going to work for it. And yeah, you see where it brought us. So I think this is something special that a father and son can have. And I only can see the benefits of it. And of course, also we have some fights, and in a high athlete, or how do you call it, in top sports, you have to be tough against each other. And we also had our fights, but I think because of these fights, our relationship only got stronger. But on the other hand, our private relationship, I think, yeah, it is a bit different than it would have been if we were not fencers, or he wasn't a fencing coach. I think that's true, but I will never know how it would have been. But what I also see is now, 3 weeks ago, our second kid, Dani, a son, was born, and 2.5 years, almost 3 years ago, our daughter was born, and I see he's getting more soft, and he really likes to see his grandchildren, and yeah, he's yeah. I actually I only can see the benefits, but to be honest, you know, with the Olympic federations, there is also some kind of thought that is not good, that the children are coached by parents. But hey, the only thing that can speak for itself are the results. And I think, yeah, with 3 Olympics and some medals, I think we did and are still doing a good job.
Well, I'm going to actually ask you a little bit about the results in one of the later questions. You've actually really made me think of a different question. So my experience of you as a referee, and certainly you and I and your father had some very frank conversations over the years. And what you're saying about your father, you're seeing a softer side of your father with his grandchildren. My experience of you off piste has always been that you're this very kind, very, very charming, friendly guy who has a lot of time to give people around him. And my experience of you on piste is you're a pretty tough, you're pretty hard competitor. So there's clearly 2 sides to Bas Verwijlen, and clearly the one on strip is accentuated in one way, and perhaps the one away from strip is accentuated the other. Do you find that that's something you actually work on, or is it something that's just evolved naturally over time?
Thanks. I like to see it as a compliment, because that's really my goal. You know, I think I'm a nice guy. I think I'm open to anyone, and people can just ask me anything. But when I'm on the strip, you know, there's only one thing I want, and that's to destroy the guy on the other side in the white outfit. But you know, I'm also a very fair fencer, fair play. But if I sense that my opponent is not too fair, or want to do some tricks, then I also have a few tricks on my sleeve. But you know, I always play within the rules. Yeah, you know, sometimes you have to step up your game a little bit. And I think from naturally, I'm a fighter. You know, as you are coming from a small country, I didn't get a lot of support like the big countries always have. I was always alone with my father. And as you know, you're also from a smaller fencing country. You look at the big teams, you know, France, Italy, Germany, they come with 20 guys, with doctors, with coaches, with whatever. So I always had the feeling that I had to fight harder, that I had to give it more. And that's what I also did in trainings. That's what I still do. But I will not answer already your next question, because we will come to that. But no, I like to be very tough on the strip, and I think you should be. But next to the strip, you know, we're all guys that love fencing. And yeah, I think next to the strip, I'm a nice guy, and on the strip, I'm very tough, and I like to keep it that way.
Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, so Bas alluded to the next question, because he's very kindly agreed to not make me list all of his career achievements, though he was #1 junior in the world, because it's only going to be a short interview. So I'm just going to do the senior career. Okay. So the 17 World Cup medals, 5 of them are gold, 2 World Championship medals, a medal in the European Championship, and 6 Grand Prix medals, I believe. That is, I think, I'm not sure. I'd have to actually look it up. I think the only person in what I would call our generation, because we just had a small crossover, who perhaps has won as many is possibly Max Heinzer. And so that's really a kind of incredible number of medals to win, and over a very long period of time that you've been one of the best fencers in the world. So here's my question, because you must have faced those sort of crunch moments, those 14-14s, or sometimes not even at 14-14 situations, many, many times in your career, with a lot on the line. Obviously, qualification for 3 Olympic Games, you've had that experience, and also to win those big prizes. Do you have any personal advice that you would give someone about coping with those super pressure situations that you face in fencing?
Yeah, as I come from a smaller fencing country, I never had the chances, to train with 20 guys who are world level. So I always trained in a different way. I always try to find, I think it's an English word, innovative
Yeah,
ways
innovative, yeah.
Innovative ways to train. So for example, I was always looking for new ways to train, to better my fitness, to neuro training. I had a lot of interest in sports psychology. I was also a mental trainer in my work in the police for like 5 years. And this really helped me to get mentally stronger also in fencing, because every training I do is to get better in fencing. But also, for example, the way I do my power training, training with weights, I always go until that line that I almost black out. But this really helps me in fencing, because if you are in the final or semi-final of a World Cup or a big international competition in Germany or France, you are totally exhausted, 2 days of fencing, but only this thought that I trained so hard, and I know the guy in front of me didn't do this training, this makes me stronger. But on the other side, I tried a lot of different mental tools to put in my head, like a sort of like chants, saying to yourself, lines, focusing. And I think many athletes can agree. Sometimes it works better than others. But for example, what I do, and then I tell a little secret, is there are a few tools, but the tool that I use the most is actually coming from an Austrian psychologist. His name is Eberspecher, and it's a circle. It's called the circles of attention, and the middle circle is circle number 1, and all the other circles around it are distractions. A referee can be annoying. Yes, referees can be annoying. Yeah. Your opponent can be annoying. The lights of the fencing hall, your epee is not working well. You have a lot of negative thoughts. There can be so many distractions, but the most important thing is to stay in circle number 1. And circle number 1 is me and my task. And then you have to decide for yourself. I'm not gonna say what I use as my task, but you have to decide for yourself, what is your task? And if you only think about this task, there is also not any more space in your head to think about these distractions. So that automatically makes you more calm, more focused. And this is one of the few tools I use to stay focused, and also in this 14-14 situations. But what I also experienced in the last years, or actually for maybe already more than 10 years, the further I come in competitions, for example, in Vancouver, it was a very good day for me. I won the World Cup, but if I see that the four guys, including me, who were in the top 4, it was me, Nicky Sheen, Limardo from Venezuela, and Bida from Russia. And the further I come in a competition, the more relaxed I am, especially in World Cups, Grand Prix, Europeans, and World Championships. I am really enjoying, I am really relaxed, but at the moment when I'm on the strip, I'm very focused. My first match in 64, I'm always so stressed and so stiff, and I can only go straight, I cannot even do a nice six on the back coupe, my muscles are just too stiff. But really, the more further I come in a competition, the more relaxed I am, and the more relaxed I am, the more harder I'm to beat. So yeah, this is what I learned from experience, and this is not something you can teach a 16-year-old kid. And as you know, in fencing, experience is very important.
Hello everyone, my name is Johannes Poschanik. I'm the president of the International Social Skills Academy. With the High Performance Mindset Power program, we designed something specially for fencers. In this 8-week program, we will show you how you can have better results, how you can achieve your goals, and how can mental performance lead you to success. Please take a look. We're very happy to host you in our 8-week program. And now let's continue with the show.
Yeah, you've just led me perfectly into my next question. You did a recent interview with the FIE, and you said something which was really interesting because it mirrored something one of the other people we've interviewed has said about how they've chosen to train. Now they're coming to 10, 20 years into a career. And it was that when you were young, you trained 3 times a day. And now you train twice a week, and that's had an impact on your results. Would you be able to explain a little bit around that for us?
Yeah, it's what you said is partly true. You know, when I was younger, I fenced 3 times a day. I trained minimum 2 times a day, but fencing was 3 times, a lot of lessons. But now I train every day, but I fence once a week, you know, and for example, when I gave this interview, I got a lot of questions because, you know, nowadays, to be honest, the kids, you know, of 15, 16, 17 years old, they are super lazy. They only want to play video games. They want to take the shortcuts. They want to take the easy roads. But this is not the mentality to get great results. You know, you really, when you are young, you really have to get the work in. You have to get the work done. That's what I did. That's what I had to do. But at the moment, what I feel is when I fence once a week, and the other days of the week I do. Sorry, my daughter is singing. Maybe you are hearing it. But
that's great.
Nina, beetje stil. She's singing. But no, at the moment, what I learned is that when I fence once a week, and the other days I do running, I do gym, I do neuro training, all the trainings to get better in fencing. But in the weekends, because I don't fence too much anymore, in the weekends I feel super excited to take those super nice Leon Paul epees from my bag. I feel very creative. I really feel like fencing, but because I fenced so many hours, so many years, I have to keep it fun for myself. And this is this way I found out that I keep it fun for myself. And if you look at the results, it's working. And I was always the kind of guy that what I feel like doing, I do. So this afternoon, if I feel like lifting some heavy weights, I'm going to do it. If tomorrow I feel like running 25 kilometers, I'm doing it. So that's the positive side of having to do everything yourself. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this at the moment. I train with guys who are not even athletes, with friends. They are really enjoying it, and then I'm also enjoying it. So I have to keep it fun for myself. And yeah, it's going to be another tough year, you know. If you are 18, 19 years old and you get the news that the Olympics are postponed 1 year, you're like, yeah, whatever, we'll see. I keep fit. But, you know, I'm 36-year-old. I have a full-time job, 2 children, and we are really counting down, as you can imagine, towards Tokyo. But, you know, in every Olympics, if it was Beijing, London, or Rio, I have to overcome big things. And I'm not talking only about fencing, because it's hard to qualify for men's epee as a European, but also next to the strip is always happening a lot, you know. One of my friends told me, if you don't have haters, you're not good enough. So, but you get tougher from this, you know, you learn from this, and at the end of the day, I hope we can all be in Tokyo, and I want to give it my best. And yeah, we'll see when we can start again.
Okay, so Bas, with having your daughter singing in the background, I also see you have some small swords in the back of you there. So I have to ask a question as a fencing legacy. Yeah, your father was a fencer, you're a fencer. I've seen because we're friends on some of the social media, you giving a fencing lesson to your daughter with what looked like a Leon Paul foam sword. So we'll give Leon Paul a small plug there. So knowing that your wife is also was also a successful fencer, do you think that's in the destiny for your children? Are you thinking that perhaps you might turn yourself towards coaching?
Oh, you know, yeah, my father is still a coach. My grandfather was also a coach. That's why my father was rolled into fencing. Nina, even stil. Even wachten nog. Papa is bijna klaar. Goed? So, no, my father is a coach. My grandfather was a coach. Even my sister was a national champion. And yeah, my wife, she was in the Italian national team. But you know, as much as I like coaching in fencing, I like it more than training. You know, I don't see myself in the near future with a fencing gear on to give lessons. But coaching is something I really enjoy. But you know, our daughter is almost 3, and she can choose whatever she wants. If she wants to play field hockey or tennis or whatever, or ballet. But yeah, you know, if they want to be a fencer, they can be. But on the other side, it will also not be easy for them, because I'm sure from day one they will ask them, your father made 3, maybe 4 Olympics. Are you gonna do even better? I think that's also gonna put a lot of pressure on the little shoulders of the kid. So they can do whatever they want. If they like fencing, then my father is already happy to give them their first lesson. But yeah, maybe, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. Well, Bas Verwijlen, I hope that we will all find ourselves in Tokyo in the not too distant future. I hope that process goes well for you. Thank you for a very interesting and insightful interview. And yeah, best of luck with the rest of the season.
It was a pleasure, and thanks for the invitation. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so Bas, we're basically out. That was awesome. Thank you. That was really interesting. I decided not to ask you because I didn't know the answer to the question. But did you ever actually fence with Klopkov?
Oh yes, yeah.
Did you get him? That's the question. Did you get him?
You know, I do sometimes, like once a month or sometimes a bit more. I do this motivational speeches, and actually, what I start with is this 1992 story about Kolobkov, and then he really gave me his autograph, and it was hanging above my bed for many years. So for me, it was super weird to meet him in the 2005 semifinals of Leipzig, the World Championships. I lost to him in overtime. But 1 month later, I fenced him in the Masters in Paris. You know this Masters competition, top 8 fencers. And then I beat him 15-7. So that was, for me, was super weird, you know, to beat your childhood hero. And I still think if people ask me who is your like example in fencing, like tactically and technically, then it's still Kolobkov, you know, the way he moved, and it was, it's still fantastic. So, yeah, and I have to ask my mother, maybe somewhere she still has this autograph. This would be, I would really put it in a frame, you know, behind me. But yeah, I fenced him like 5 or 6 times. Yeah. But I also fenced Arne Schmid. There was also something really cool. Yeah.
Well, I made a joke with a friend of mine who's a dentist, and he actually was a junior world medalist in foil before he fenced epee, and he was a veteran. I fenced him in a pool in a competition in Britain, and I lost. And the comment I made is,
sorry. Do you have 1 second? Sorry.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Oh, can you maybe put in the dog because it's raining? Yeah, it's here. Yeah, sorry, I put the dog out because it was a bit naughty, but okay, now it's going in. Yeah.
Well,
okay.
A
guy
so
who
I lost this guy epee in a fight to 5 in a pool in Britain. I was not really paying too much attention, and I made a joke about I keep losing to dentists, and nobody understood apart from my dad because I'd lost to Arne Schmid the weekend before.
Yeah.
But then I think I probably lost by a lot more than you because I'm well aware of my shortcomings as a fencer. A little bit better as a referee. So, my friend, thank you very much for that. That was awesome. And it's very nice to see you. Please give my best to your wife and to the kids and your father if, when you see him. And like I said, with a bit of luck, we'll see you in Tokyo.
Cool. And where will this be broadcasted? Or?
Okay, we'll put it on YouTube and we'll link it from Facebook.
Okay.
So if you look on Johannes's profile or on my profile on Facebook, we'll share it on those. And yeah, like I said, if you have any, I know obviously you worked in leadership and stuff as a business in the past. So if you have anything, if you see what we're doing as a project, if you have anything you'd be interested in getting involved in, give us a shout because it's amazing what we do is basically use the kind of NLP stuff and social skills training, but towards kids.
Cool.
Because of coronavirus, we can't do that. So we've started doing a few things around fencing and basketball and some other sports. But it's really opened up stuff because there's like people like yourself. There's like Lawrence Halstead, who's his thing is all about mindfulness and it's been really interesting for us. We've learned a lot from interviewing you guys.
Cool. Yeah. Nice. Cool. Okay. I will see it. Okay. Have a nice day.
Okay. Take care, my friend.
See you. Bye.
Bye for now. Bye.